Today, I would like to ask you an important question, one that I hope you answer honestly, because in that response, we can achieve a significant reflection, one that could shape the rest of our lives. It's common to see people living with fear, deeply rooted fears, but we are all human and exposed to feeling these things. However, today, I want you to tell me, what holds greater prominence in your life? Fear or faith? You didn't expect this, I know, but it's crucial that we occasionally measure what we are giving greater weight to, as it can be influencing many aspects of our lives and our reality. Often, our path veers a bit away from God. We forget how good our Creator is, and we end up placing things above His infinite power. Consequently, our being starts to suffer in faith, becoming vulnerable to negative emotions. Undoubtedly, one of the most potent negative energies we encounter is fear. For decades, fear has been a feeling capable of paralyzing people. Although everyone reacts differently to fear, it is undeniably one of the greatest challenges facing humanity in the midst of this third dimension in which we reside. The entire world is familiar with fear and apprehensions. This information has spread to reach every corner of the world, inevitably touching every soul on Earth at least once in their lifetime. Discussing this topic necessarily involves talking about those moments when our faith wavers, because a person firm in their faith does not give fears the opportunity to occupy their being. But we should not feel ashamed if at some point we have experienced such great fear that our skin bristles. As human beings, this is part of the experience our soul is going through. Every soul that descends to Earth has the purpose of evolution, and it understands the experience in a human body as one of the most enriching experiences, because in this vast universe, amidst the multiple realms we encounter, there is no other form that can feel the way humans do. The Earth is considered by many authors as a place specifically designed to enrich our being, to provide a space for the evolution and refinement of our souls, and to work towards acquiring that precious wisdom. That's why individuals willingly choose to come here, to learn and strive for self-improvement, always aware that what they are going to experience may not always be positive. However, they accept that from each situation where negativity arises, a new level of wisdom can be obtained. It is crucial to understand at all times that amidst the challenges, we can find the greatest treasures, valuable lessons, and a bit more resilience to strengthen our being. The fear of fears is so vast that summarizing it is almost impossible. However, recognizing that each of us must muster the courage to face the fear that paralyzes us is why I want to share some knowledge on the subject today. This knowledge draws inspiration from the teachings of the late Connie Mendez, who illuminated the world with the knowledge she shared. So, clinging to the path that leads to wisdom, true knowledge, and the evolution of our being, let's delve a bit into this topic and its direct connection with faith. I believe that everything aligns perfectly in the universe, and if, for some reason, you've arrived here, it's simply because you need to hear this. You require that small touch of light that I wish to impart to all the souls that cross paths with me from afar. Perhaps this could be the key for you to overcome the challenging test the universe has sent your way, and with the help of this content, you might end up shaping the rest of your life into what you truly desire. No one can even imagine concretely what true knowledge can achieve, as some underestimate it, attributing greater power to material aspects than they truly possess. But even though for many this may seem impossible, the true value of things lies in how they make you feel, and they seek to multiply their impact on all human beings through joy. Humanity has been created to receive magnificent gifts through its willingness to grow, as we are only asked to look within ourselves and willingly recognize everything that, in one way or another, affects us. When you look within, you must do so consciously, understanding that everything you achieve externally can be adjusted. There is absolutely nothing that condemns you to a life of lack or suffering. We come into this world as deserving individuals, and nothing takes away that quality, even the most terrible experiences only serve to distance you a little from what awaits you. For every soul, there is a magnificent reward, a blessing so great that no one could even imagine. This is what we call God's promise for our lives, and it is nothing more than the gift He has designated for each of His children. Every one of us, just by being created by Him, deserves His great love. We must understand that the Father has prepared a precious gift for each of us, a manifestation of His love and infinite power, which we can access through our faith and commitment to improve and draw closer to being His image and likeness. That's why there is always talk of the tremendous power we have to face and overcome every obstacle in life, every challenge that comes our way, even those stemming from the deepest fears within us. This doesn't negate fear and its impact on our lives because, while it is a formidable adversary, it can never surpass our strength, a strength imprinted by our Creator. Recognizing that our Father is a being with a power capable of modifying and ordering everything, which recognizes no limits or formidable adversaries, is therefore to acknowledge that we are equally invincible and great. We are His faithful reflection, designed with the same virtues as Him. That's why faith admits no type of fear, because faith speaks of the unwavering trust we have in our Creator. If there is steadfastness in this aspect, there is no room for fear to enter. However, if you have fallen into fears, apprehensions, and even doubts, it means that your faith may not be as solid as you think. Perhaps you are giving attention or importance to something contrary to God, something that truly doesn't deserve a second of our attention or an ounce of our strength. But you shouldn't feel bad if you have let these kinds of energies invade you, because we all can fall into this error, even I, even that person whom you admire so much for their faith and strength. The strength of our being is built through multiple experiences, many falls, stumbles, and even mistakes. We were created with free will to allow us to live everything to the fullest and, from mistakes, learn and emerge as a much wiser and prepared person for life and everything it brings. Our Creator is aware that we make mistakes, and He allows it as a way to help us improve. Although you may see this as something beautiful, so much so that you can't believe it, it truly works this way. Not everything has to be strict and difficult, like an exacting regimen where you can't afford to fail. In the midst of this world, everything is allowed, even failing and learning from it. Let's learn to see each complex moment as a magnificent learning opportunity. Instead of becoming frustrated and feeling defeated or exhausted, let's gather strength and change our perspective to see them as grand opportunities. And if at any point you feel like you can't go on, remember how great your Creator is, and also remember that you are not alone on this journey. From afar, I am always here through this channel to help you successfully navigate through your entire process. The universe always works hand in hand with the Father to help you reach the precious places He has set aside for you. It always works so that you can see God's promise fulfilled. If you don't, it's because you have created a mistaken idea that doesn't make things any easier and causes you to wander erratically through life. The true path to traversing your process with love and fluidity will always be to trust in God, in the universe, and in the personalized process you are going through, tailored for each one of us. Perhaps this is one of the most fear-inducing topics, and it's the first one we will address today, because I would like to cover everything necessary for you to leave our encounter strengthened in faith and leaving behind the fear that invades and burdens your life. So, fill yourself with hope, because we are here as part of the universe's plan to allow you to draw closer to the Father and His magnificent promises. Not only do you gain closeness with God and the energies emanating from His presence, but you also become a better person in the process. Those who are deeply rooted in their beliefs and values end up becoming a better version of themselves. Although it may seem incredible, this gives them an additional push in their personal growth. Now, let's talk about the daunting fear of letting go, because in the end, letting go of things may not be very enjoyable, but it is necessary and important. It's also one of the most impressive acts of faith. We must understand that the world was not created to be controlled by us or our wills. While we can be agents of change and even shape our reality according to our desires and aspirations, there are things that simply aren't under our control, and that's why we must let them flow as they come. But this doesn't mean you'll end up drifting aimlessly or be subject to the desires and expressions of others. It means that in these small stretches, you are in the hands of God, who never lets go of things and orders them for the benefit of each one of us. It can be frightening to think that we must stop acting and fighting against the current, but it might not be as bad as it seems. In these situations, there are also things that must be learned, and they won't be understood from our resistance. As I mentioned before, if we can't be in control of these situations, God and the universe can. They form a powerful duo seeking our well-being, as well as that of all souls, doing so equally and with the utmost urgency. They don't want the suffering or discomfort of any of us to linger under any circumstances. Those who come to doubt this do so because they doubt the love of their Creator. In some way, they may not feel good enough or worthy. That's where fear gains strength and invites us to think that we must have control over everything. But this is nothing more than an idea rooted in the fear of the unknown, the fear of letting go and feeling vulnerable to what happens. This is the true origin of what we feel, and the blockage we have when it comes to the idea of letting go. Resisting in those moments when we simply need to let go ends up being anything but beneficial. We only hinder the natural flow of things and block the solution that is already set for us. Whenever I discuss this particular point, I often receive comments from people expressing that what truly scares them is the fear that the solution coming from the natural flow of things may not be good or beneficial for them. And here is where I want to ask you, do you consider our Creator capable of doing something that harms or is not beneficial for your life or anyone else's? Because if the answer is yes, we probably aren't referring to the same Creator. Let's stop seeing our God as one of wrath, vengeance, and fury, and let's start seeing Him as one of infinite love and compassion. Although some may want to portray our Creator differently, He is a benevolent being that shows infinite love, understanding, and compassion for each of His beloved creations. He would never do anything that would harm them. Everything that God and the universe allow to happen is in favor of our growth and the attainment of a much greater reward, one that comes from the light and His divine presence. So even remotely imagining that something He has created or ordained for His children is harmful is a complete offense to His love for us. However, the Father understands that these feelings arise from fear and shaky faith, and He invites us to let go and allow the course He has set for things to surprise us. Fear, in many instances, is accompanied by doubt, and while it's normal to see one of these energies accompanying the other, what is not normal is allowing them to invade and settle within us. Each one of us must understand that we are always backed by the infinite love of God. This is not conventional love, and therefore does not recognize the limits that ego, social dynamics, and ourselves impose on it. Imagine for just a moment that we have the ability to love without limits. Even if someone offends us or rejects us, we continue to love them and see them with great hope that one day they will turn to us, embrace us, and acknowledge the commitment we have to our bond with them. Perhaps it may seem too grand or unthinkable, but this is possible, and it is precisely what our Creator feels for us. The infinite love that moves Him and leads Him to believe in us, even when we reject Him and cling to other energies. Perhaps seeing it from that perspective has made you aware of the rejection we often give to our Creator. However, He doesn't see things the way we do, and He is willing to forgive us completely. Don't feel guilt, because making mistakes and distancing ourselves from the love of our Father is also part of the process. God is so perfect that he even contemplated this in his plan and found the perfect way to let us know that his love is infinite and that he hopes to see us react and break free from the influence of fear. If God didn't conceive fear as something necessary in our lives, that feeling simply wouldn't exist. But he has allowed it in the midst of this plane, letting it touch us, because ultimately we will end up learning something. Turn to your Creator and see all the wonderful things he has done in your life. Even in the face of the greatest challenges, he has kept you on your feet, organized everything, and somehow pulled you out of those places that were not good for you. When someone tells me they are afraid that the Father will allow a solution that is not good for their soul, I immediately turn to them and tell them how mistaken they are. The way in which he has ordered everything is the best, and sooner or later, we will see it. God's plans and ways are often quite confusing, and it may seem that there is no logical reason for the things happening. But there is a reason, even if we don't know it, and we must understand and accept it. Again, I invite you to reflect and see in each of those difficult moments when the resolution seems not to help you, as the event fades away, didn't it end up being the best for you? Think it over carefully, meditate on it, and don't answer me. Answer yourself, because this is information you must assimilate and embrace. Even if you wanted to deny it, everything that has happened in your life seems to fit into a perfect form and has brought you to where you are now. It has also shaped you into the person you are now, and how strong you are. In case no one has told you yet, you are a strong, capable, intelligent, and very valuable person. You have become all this through the challenges you have faced, through what seemed so bad and only managed to make you a better person. You are simply unstoppable. Nothing has managed to bring you down because, since the day you were born, you have had the ability to deal with everything. Your constant support is your Father, your Creator, the one who asks you to trust in his infinite love and grace. Just for once, dare to trust in all the good that God has prepared for you. Accept this moment of difficulty with love and let him make his presence felt in the midst of it all, because just by placing him there, God will already act in the way he should. Perhaps you still don't know which path to follow to come out unscathed from everything, but God definitely knows, and he will guide us in a subtle and perfect way if we allow it. More than accepting God's will, as many say, it is about accepting his guidance and allowing him to act on our behalf in the face of all challenges, because he doesn't allow anything in your life that cannot be solved and, indeed, will be resolved by his hand. It's truly incredible how God advocates for us at every moment, daring to seek our well-being over and over again, and only asking us to trust him and follow the path he marks for complete happiness. God always seeks to see his children in the best possible way, and anyone who says otherwise seeks to distance you from that precious promise that the Father has destined for your being. They may end up on a path of unhappiness, as they are surely living, because no one estranged from God ends up enjoying the rewards that his presence brings. Many may speak of a severe God who punishes the slightest mistake, but this is not the case at all. If, at times, he allows a couple of bumps in your life, it is only to mold you towards perfection and redirect your life on the path to success. It's essential to learn to have faith, because faith will give you the push you need to release things into the hands of our Father Creator, and let him, along with the universe that wants to provide us with everything, align things in our favour. This is like letting ourselves fall, but trusting that someone will catch us and prevent us from getting hurt. It's a leap of love, trust, and security, not only in the one who supports you, but also in yourself. Yes, it's important to believe in yourself too, because you are a perfect image of God. Everything he represents is imprinted on you. You have those marvelous qualities attributed to his being, and moreover, you have his support. So what could go wrong? In the way that God ends up configuring things, you will be able to handle them, because he has endowed you with all the necessary abilities to come out successfully. Though it may sound like a joke, God doesn't send any of his children into this world devoid of resources. To each of us, he has given the skills we will need in our journey, and if not, he has at least given us the capacity to develop them, because perhaps the event we need to acquire that tool is entirely necessary. However things are laid out, the best way to have faith is to walk with confidence, because within me is everything necessary to face each of life's situations. If I still lack a skill, I will develop it perfectly. We just need to focus on trusting and allowing each moment to transform us through knowledge, experiences, and guidance we receive. Nothing bad can result from here. Nothing negative can come from God, and nothing that is not from our Creator can touch us. Stop feeling vulnerable to life. You have an infinite, unstoppable, and invincible force backing you, the force of your Creator. So, face each day with faith and every challenge with optimism. Each stage of your life is designed for your growth. Every bit of knowledge you accumulate only makes you stronger, and no one can stop you if you strengthen your faith in God and in everything He does and manifests in this earthly plane. Just pause for a moment and tell me, which of all those terrible things that have happened to you in the past has ultimately brought you down? I know the answer is none, because you have reached this point, this space, where we are going to grow and strengthen our faith. If nothing has brought you down, it's because nothing is made or arranged to end you. No one can be above our Creator, and He is 100% with us every day and every moment. In this space, at a distance, I know there are many people who have gone through truly complex situations, much more than I might have experienced, but ultimately, they are here, present, and it hasn't been for anything other than the push from our Father and the faith they maintain in Him and the abilities He has granted them. And if anyone has arrived with their heart filled with anguish for something they are currently experiencing, I invite them to release that at this moment, to trust, because life will not end here. This is just a necessary turning point for you to fill yourself with more power. I congratulate each one who has reached this video because even though I don't know the details of your lives, I know you've had to face very challenging things. Yet, no challenge is greater than you, than me, or than our Creator. Negative energies attack ruthlessly, aiming to sow completely misguided ideas in your mind, making you believe that things are falling apart for you when, in reality, they are being constructed in a better way. I believe that a highly effective way to strengthen our faith and help release our fears is to sit down and analyze with a clear mind everything that comes to our minds from the moment we are touched by contrary energies from the divine. From there, we can quickly detect this attack and do everything necessary to kick out that negativity from our being. So let's carefully analyze some of the ideas that may come to you, and even a couple of sensations, because I want you to be fully prepared to identify what does not contribute to your life or evolution. The first thing we usually think is that we can't trust or have faith because we really don't have certainty that we will come out unscathed. And although the person receiving this thought may feel overwhelmed, if you stop and think, you have always found well-being after each event, even in those situations where you feel you have lost things. After the storm passes, you find the perfect way to live happily and in harmony again. If you have already been through so much, if you have learned so much, and at no time have you been let down, what makes you think that the future will be different? Today and always, you have the support of your Creator and a variety of internal tools that are ready to provide a solution to everything. Let's stop worrying about what the future holds, because if there is one thing certain, it is that we can only live in one time, and that is the present, the now, where all these things are happening that will ultimately turn out well for you. What happens tomorrow is not important, because the way it unfolds will end up being good, beneficial, and every change will flow in harmony with my life and my reality. Some may not understand this by just telling them about it. So I invite them to confidently affirm in God and the perfection that everything that comes from now on will take. as it is a good way to enhance this process with our energy. And don't think of this as a way to have control over things, because if you see it in the midst of this sentence, we are handing everything over to God. Just by placing our Creator in the midst of all situations is more than enough, as He will arrange them in the right way. Affirm and decree the good that is coming to you, because even if you don't know the form, having faith is having the conviction that it will be good, harmonious, that it will flow with us, and it will fit perfectly into God's plan. So if you were thinking of clinging to this thought to maintain fear within you, we have demolished it today, just as you will knock down any obstacle that comes your way. Another common thought people have is that even though God supports them, they will be insufficient. First of all, if you couldn't overcome this trial, it wouldn't have been given to you. You've always been able to handle everything that's been put in your path, and you always will, because although it may sound like a cliché, tests are not given to people who are not prepared to face them. Everything that comes into your life is manageable from your being and your beautiful abilities, which are not few. So stop feeling insufficient, incapable, or even small, because you are the child of a great and powerful being, and therefore you are also great and powerful. You have to learn to see yourself with love and confidence, because that's how God sees you. That's how many around you see you, and only you are unable to recognize those good abilities within you. Dare to look in the mirror and acknowledge all the good in you, all the value you have, and above all, that strength deep within your being. Even I can see this strength. It's impossible for you not to. Open your eyes and realize that it's only fear trying to manipulate you and distort your real image. Whatever you're facing is actually small compared to who you are, because you are a true giant. Don't believe that God made you just for the sake of it, because it wouldn't have been worth taking so much time and effort to create something we don't love, and to which we won't impart tremendous strength and supreme love. Give yourself a bit of love, recognition, and confidence, because, in doing so, you are projecting and strengthening your faith, not only in your Father, but also in yourself, your abilities, and the higher plan that God and the universe have. Because if we are capable of recognizing that the universe and God have joined forces to make something good out of our lives, we must understand that everything that comes our way will be marvelous. That's where you discard the third idea that fear plants in you, the idea that we won't be happy again unless we find our own solution to everything that is happening. The world has aligned itself so that you could be here and experience all those moments of happiness you've had. And even though there are also bad moments, this life and the journey we embark upon are so precious that it's not even worth remembering the bad. All those moments, places, and people that have filled your life with happiness are a product of how God designs and orchestrates everything for our lives. I believe it's worth daring to live according to the well-being that our Creator has planned in His own way. Even with all the ups and downs that come our way, everything we see unfolding in our lives ends up aligning with us in a masterful way. Why would there be any doubt at this point about whether we will be happy or not? There simply are no apparent reasons. It's just fear attacking you, fears trying to take hold of you. I invite you not to let them get away with it. Triumph over all your fears because you can, and from there, you will strengthen that faith that will open doors and manifest so many precious things in your life. I am confident that the message you have received through me today will not be in vain, and your life will take an incredible turn in this hour, one that I want to be a part of. So, go to the comments and tell me how much you've done to strengthen your faith. If you enjoyed my content, please don't hesitate to support me with a like and subscribe to my channel, because we will be constantly gathering here to share knowledge and useful tools for our lives. We'll meet again in a new edition very soon. Until then, I invite you to have faith.